Hey guys, welcome to Talk to Me Brother, where Pierre, that's me, and Marty from Par Extrême, we're gonna riff about the outdoor. We're gonna talk about shit that we can't do right now because we're pissed off. We can't go outside and do the things that we love, which is camping, hiking, and being in the wilderness. But that's okay. We will survive. We will. Everything's fine. We're not gonna go crazy. Well, I am a little bit. Are you? Are you going a little bit crazy, bud?
So far, no, I have to say. A lot of people are asking me this question, and I keep answering the same thing. I have such a, my life might be busier than it was before in this quarantine.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where, because I don't have to travel, I put more into my workday. And then because the kids are not at school, I have to do the homeschooling. So that's big. Just the whole aspect of our lives between working from home, which I'm super fortunate to be able to do, working from home, and then doing the homeschooling, giving the kids some free time, having myself some free time, having some time with Nat and I. I've been maintaining my fitness routine. Obviously, I had to modify it quite a bit because I don't have access to a full gym. But I do have a decent setup here to kind of do my weights, which is a ton of body weights ultimately. And then I run a decent amount. So and I do have to go into work like the odd time. Like this week I had to go in because I was missing some paperwork and it was kind of hard to do it without it. So I just went to pick it up and I left, sort of deal. It's super busy. It might be busier than usually, but and that's the silver lining there. I have zero stress in my life. Like all the stress has been removed, and I feel it. Let's say I'm an hour late for reading with the kids in the morning. Who cares? Like it doesn't matter, right? Like time doesn't look the same when you don't have to be somewhere at a specific time, and you can speak a lot to that because of you've found a way to create a schedule that fits really well with you, and you've been liking it a lot. I've been enjoying it a lot as well. Do I miss going camping? Sure, but to be super honest, I didn't have anything planned until the end of May. Personally, because I had my show. Right, my musical I was playing, and then after that I was gonna stay home a little bit just to catch up on some things, and then May, June, I had 3 weeks in Newfoundland. So at the end of May I was going to hike one of the mountains in the eastern townships with the kids. In June we were 3 weeks in Newfoundland, and then after that I had like 2-3 canoe camping trips in there planned. So I have a busy summer ahead of me, and maybe I'll be lucky with our, returning to being allowed to go camping in June.
I hope so, man.
And if by then we're not allowed, then I'll be pissed. But I'm not super pissed because I had nothing planned really until then. So it's one of those things. How are you doing?
Okay. Well, okay. Maybe it's a bit of a dramatization saying I'm going crazy. It's just that today I'm babysitting 2 dogs, really. Well, I got my own, so I'm babysitting another one. It was quite a cool experience, to be honest, but quite a little learning curve too. So there was a lot going on in the house. But honestly, as you mentioned, I've got a really nice schedule going for me because I'm really allowed
it's
to.
It's the most ridiculous schedule I've ever heard. It works for you, but it's ridiculous. Please share with the audience.
I don't know if I want my boss to know it, but yes, he will. I don't care. Really, what I do is that unless I got a meeting really early, which sometimes happen, and that's fine, I'll change my schedule to manage that. But before I go into details of that, I'm really creative at night.
You're a night hawk.
Late at night. I am a night hawk. Like starting 9:30 p.m., you will get the best out of me for anything that's creative wise until maybe 1-2 a.m. I'm really, really in my prime during that time. So what I really like right now is since I don't have to be in the school with the regular school schedule, I start maybe my day around 11 or noon, 11 noon, and then I'll work till 4. Then I'll go take the dog for a walk, a nice hour walk with the dog and my girlfriend, and then we'll have dinner together, and not me and the dog, but me and my girlfriend, and then we'll watch a show on Netflix or something. Then I'll go back to work from like 6 or 7 to 10 p.m. Then I'll probably play like a board game with you actually, or with some other dudes online, and we'll just chat like we're doing right now, but we'll play a board game at the same time. I'll do that till maybe midnight, and then I'll start working again from midnight to 2, 3 a.m. And then I'll go to bed. And you know what? It really works for me because I do get enough hours of sleep. I like real hours of sleep. That's really, really good for me. I haven't got that in a while. And then now I do. I am really creative. So now the product that I'm giving is much better than before because all of my creativity can be actually used. So I really like that. Sure, it's really weird, but now I eat properly. I do exercise. I do spend time with my girlfriend more than before, and I get time to do a podcast. I did skip this week video. I'm saying this week. That's not true. It will come. It will come. It's just I had some technological issues that I had to deal with because my girlfriend is a teacher and she needed to do like 2 videos this week. So I thought it was more important than help her out with those videos than do my own, really. So I was trying to be a good boyfriend there, right? I think I did well on that. But I think I choose properly. I choose the adult decision there. So it's a weird schedule. I absolutely agree. But really, so far, it works for me. Yeah. Could I keep doing that forever? Absolutely not, because I do work in a school, so like,
no, but technically
things will go back to kids being in a school. No, but yeah, technically like I could. If I was allowed to work from home forever, yeah, like I would keep doing that. I would keep doing that
until you have kids.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, for sure. I couldn't do that if I had kids. There's no way in hell I could do that with kids.
And I played until 1 a.m. this last night, or this morning, I guess. And it was rough this morning for me to get up, and I got up like late. I got up at 8:30. So, yeah,
but I warned you, buddy. I warned you. I told you what time it was. You were just so primed. You're like, no, let's do it. What is it? And what happened?
I lost.
I kicked your butt at Carcassonne.
Yeah, for the folks at home.
Just why?
For the folks at home, it's important to know that Pierre-Antoine and I are huge board game nerds. So, and it's kind of funny because
we are.
We love playing board games. We love getting together, but before this pandemic, it was always, you and I live about an hour. I think it's an hour dead on apart. And
about that. Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour, give or take. And in the past, because of how crazy life is in general, just how busy it was hard to get together to play. And now that this happened, we're playing every night.
It's just that I think we're aware of this solution that we're using right now before, but it's so much fun. It's so much more fun to play like side by side, sure. Yeah. So there was no real reason to be like, oh, we're gonna do this instead of like, let's just wait so we can have an evening together and just do it like that, But now we know it's just not an option.
So we're just abusing from it.
So let's just play online, and then we're like, shit, this is really fun. Like we should have done that way before.
See, this is one of the things, in my opinion, that after life goes back to normal, that's not gonna go away.
This is not going. That's not gonna. We're keeping this. That's the good thing that happened during that COVID-19
for sure, shit. Man. All right, so I've got a couple of items in front of me. For the folks at home, for the topic of today, and we were texting back and forth today, and just before the pandemic hit, and just before we officially were in quarantine, I had purchased 2 really cool pieces of gear that I have yet to try out in the field. I have tried them out here, a decent amount actually.
I'm curious to see what you're going to be talking about because I think I'm going to call bullshit on one of your items.
Yeah?
I'm not sure which one you're going to bring, but
it depends what you're...
If there is one in particular that you bring, I'll be like, this... I can't wait. I'm curious.
What
though.
are you
I'm
saying?
curious.
You're going to call bullshit that I didn't buy it before the pandemic, or that I didn't use it, or that you think it's not going to be useful?
I think. Okay, well, you're mentioning that because the items that I will talk about I've used, but not really often. Like maybe once.
Because you didn't like them.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Either because I didn't like them, or because just like I never really found a used, really, like there was other ways to go buy or better equipment available. But anyway, my point is, I know that you bought a mattress.
Yeah.
For your wife.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that mattress you haven't used, but it's the same mattress that you own. Like it's the one that you own.
When I say I've tried it, I haven't tried the mattress for a full night's sleep. In that regards, you're right. I've tried it for the other item because they go together. And okay. I mean, like, you know, saying that I bought this for my wife to go to Newfoundland was just a really easy way to get my hand on something pretty cool as well. So.
Yes.
So you want me to start?
Okay, so what's your item?
I've actually been talking about it in the last like 2 other podcasts on my podcast because it was an insane steal. Okay, so I got this item for $130. It was on sale, and it was right around my birthday. I go to one of our local shop here, Bushteka, and I picked up a Thermarest X-Lite regular. So this guy here. For $130. You have to understand that that's like Canadian dollars. I think that's cheaper than the American price. Yeah.
It is. It is.
This goes for $220.
It is. And you know what? I'm going to apologize right now to you, buddy. Yeah? Because in my mind, and I knew it was the Neo Air X-Lite, but I really thought it was the X-Term. And I was like, you already own one of those. Yeah, no, you've tested one of those, but you're right. The X-Lite you never tried. And I mean, you're so right.
For having lain down on it, the only difference so far in terms of comfort, it's the same. Because it's the same regular size that I got. And actually, after talking with Justin from Justin Outdoors, I'm not regretting buying the regular size, but he told me that his life completely changed the way he went for a wide large.
Because he's got wide shoulder just like you?
Sure,
or it doesn't change just because he could put his elbow on it and it won't fall.
Like me, yes, but it's just one of those things where it's a bit more expensive, it's a bit heavier, but the comfort level, it's just that much more apparently. Like, apparently it's a game changer.
You don't sleep... Yeah? You don't sleep on your back, though.
I cannot.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, see, I do. I do sleep on my back, so I don't know if it would make such a difference for me.
What he was saying, for when you're using a quilt, because you're not confined to your sleeping bag, you fall off the mat all the time when you're using a quilt. When you're in a sleeping bag, your arms don't fall off of it, right? You're in your sleeping bag. Everything's kind of kept in a bag together. Right. But when you're in a quilt, he said, honestly, for people with quilts, and the people that don't like quilts because of draft and all that, in his experience, he said the large makes a huge difference across the board. He says comfort level, you don't fall off your mat.
Okay.
So what I came up with when he said that to me is that it's fine because I'll give it to the kids and I'll buy another one later. Eventually, anyways, right? So it doesn't really matter because these guys, these are bomb-proof. And the reason why it was on sale, it's not because there's nothing wrong with it. It's because it's the old valve, right? Thermarest just changed their valve this year. So they're liquidating everything. And I just, man, that was a lucky like $130 for this Canadian, that's ridiculously cheap. Ridiculously cheap.
It is. So, it is, and seriously, the valve, like this mattress, as made his proof. Like, it's been out there for what, like 15 years?
The X-Lite? I don't know how long the X-Lite, but these Thermarest valve, I've never seen any other valves.
forever.
Like, I don't know of any other valves from Thermarest except what they just came up with. So I'm not worried at all. It's just, honestly, though, when you look at the competitors around, like you look at even some of the Chinese companies that have like these...
When you just blow in this big holes.
Yeah, the big holes or just the two-way valves, right, that you can have with the button in it, and or the one that you can just rip apart, right? It's kind of a double, I don't know how to say it, but like a bigger hole for the big valve, for the one-way valve, and then the valve on top. Anyways, point is that they had to do something. From laying down on it, it feels the same as the X-Therm, except it's significantly noisier.
Really, yeah. You know what? That's a thing that
I don't care.
I find, well, I don't care. No, but there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people that mention that when you look at reviews online about those mattresses, there's a lot of people that complains or it's a con. The Uberlite, well, maybe a little bit less the Uberlite, but the Eastern and the Neolite are making a lot of noises. And the X-Lite. And I'm like, well, in my mind, first of all, I'm snoring like crazy, so this is not going to be an issue. Like,
you're already ruining everyone else's
issue
night.
For you guys. Exactly. So that's not a problem for me. And second of all, I'm like, you're in the outdoor. There is a shitload of noises out there. I mean, like the wind, just the wind is making a shit ton of noise, hitting the trees, hitting the zipplers, the flap. Like, there's just the animals, the insects, like just everything. There's a lot of noise. How come that is going to be the problem for you? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But I mean, if for some people it's an issue, I guess it's an issue. I mean, I'm not done, but I'm like, there's so many other things that would bother me noise wise before the mattress.
So I'm super excited to take it out this summer ultimately. But yeah, no, the noise.
Oh, for sure.
The noise hasn't bothered me yet. I mean, dude, this has proven itself countless times. So I'm super excited to put this to the test. And not long after, and there's a funny story to this, I got another item here that I'm really excited to put to the test. And the funny story for the folks at home is that you and I think at the same time, maybe it was me that brought it to your attention or something like this.
Oh, you brought it to my attention. For sure you did.
It's a chair. I'm like, this chair looks really awesome. And I'm really curious to try it. And right now, it's $30.
Yeah, super awesome.
Instead of both of us, we go with Mike's Law, right? Plus give or take 10. Give or take 10. So Mike's Law, $20. If it's $20 and less, you don't even ask questions. You just take it. If it's good, great. If it's garbage, you throw it in the garbage. So we applied that. So I put in an order. You put in an order 30 seconds after me. And I happened to pick up the last one. And you didn't know. When you put in your order, it didn't say out of order. You received an email.
No, it didn't.
From the company.
It didn't. Freaking got an email from the company like a day after. Something like that. And I'm super stoked because I'm like, oh, it's already shipped. Yeah. That's the email what's the email is going to be about. And they're just like, yeah, we're out of order. So we're going to refund you. And that's going to be that. Sorry for this inconvenience. And I'm telling you that. So you're like, shit, maybe you're going to get the same email because we bought it freaking at the same
we were
exact
over the
time.
Phone together.
Like 30 seconds apart.
We were over the phone when we bought it. Yeah.
And you actually called them to know what's what.
And he told me, he's like, dude,
so what did the guy told you?
The guy's like, oddly enough, we received 2 orders at the same time. You just happened to come in first. And I was like, yeah, I know who the next guy is. So anyways.
So ladies and gentlemen, that explains why this is the end of Talk to Me, Brother. No.
It'll come back.
I'm not pissed because.
First of all, I'll put it to the test all year long. And every March, there's huge sales. It'll come back on sale.
And anyway, I know I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use yours.
So for the folks at home, that item is called the Thermarest Trekker Chair Kit, which looks like this. Okay.
Do you have something so we can see like like an Nalgene bottle or anything that you can put aside?
My X Lite. That's not, you know.
Sure.
It's kind of hard to give you the full. I'm a little close to, right. So it's
Yeah.
I think you guys could probably take the reference of this large bottle of beer. For example. Yeah,
I like that.
Dark lager. It's a bit too sweet for me, I have to say. It's fine, but it's a bit too sweet. So it's a bit taller, and right out of the box, one of the con to this chair, two things right away. First off, you're going to be sitting on the ground, right? Like you're going to have because this chair only works with one of the Thermos mattress, right?
The pad.
With the pad itself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a sweet thing together. So you're sitting on the ground. That's one thing. And second, the other con to it is that you can't pack it smaller than this because there are two, is it carbon fiber or it's not aluminum? I think it might be.
Yeah, it's carbon fiber.
Yeah,
I believe it's carbon fiber.
Poles, rigid poles. So you can't fold it. Like I can't, if there weren't any poles in it, I could make it in a ball this big. Like it would be as big as your fist, but I can't. So it stays like this. So compactability is not ideal, but it's not really thick or anything like that. And honestly, I'll just be strapping this outside of my pack. Like it can get wet. It doesn't matter because the part that I'm sitting on, even if this is wet, the part that I'm sitting on is actually on the mattress. When you put it all together, and you just strap it like this is smaller than your two trekking poles together. And it's significantly lighter. Like it's probably half the weight of the Elixir. No, what's that good chair?
Elinox.
Yeah. So the Elinox is at
Elinox,
1 pound.
Yeah.
I think this is like 7 or 8 ounces with the stuff sack. So you're half the weight, and then you're obviously combining this with your mattress that you're already bringing, right? And so and I have tried this chair for maybe 5 to 6 hours already. That one, I put it to the test.
Have you played a game?
Yes.
Have you played a Carcassonne game?
You and I played Carcassonne, and I was sitting in it for like 2 hours solid. And it takes a little bit of time to figure out what's comfortable for you or not. Not going to lie with that. Yeah. It does require a little bit of fiddling around. But once you find it, I personally loved it. It's so comfortable, super comfortable. It's the idea that it's light, it's great, and you can adjust it in a bunch of different ways. And what you can do, like a couple of things, for example, in a wintertime, our chairs, okay?
Yeah.
The regular chairs like the Helinox, or we have the Trichology chairs, not the best on snow. I know you can buy the pad.
And I have it. And it makes a huge difference because mine acts like a snowshoe.
But it's still tippy. If you lean to the left,
not the Trichology. That's because you need to fiddle a bit better. Because on the Trichology one, you can actually adjust the size of the legs of the chair so you can make it perfect. You can actually like slide them a little bit in from behind and a bit on the side there, and so you recreate a flat balance.
If you have it all even in that snowshoe, the whatever that's called, the pad underneath it, right? Which basically
the mat
that gives you a bit of it doesn't add in much weight, and it even in the summertime it allows you to not dig through the lawn anyways when you sit in it, right? In the snow, 100%. I've never tried it, but like that's physics. In the snow, if you lean to the side like this, I can't see it not dig in.
It doesn't. I've tried it, buddy. I'm sorry. I've tried it.
I know you've tried your chair in the wintertime. I don't doubt that it works really well.
I'm telling you.
What I'm saying is if you lean far over your chair to grab something.
I'm telling you, if you're in the snow with the mat, this is the most stable chair I've ever been on. But if you're on ice, holy crap, then you're absolutely right. Then you're absolutely right. Because there's no traction.
So it just slips?
When you're in the snow, it will dig in the snow like 2 inches, and then it will stay
It'll
there,
settle.
and there's friction. It will settle. You're not going anywhere. But on the snow, it just slides like you're on skates. And then yes, then it's freaking not.
Okay.
It's not
Well,
cool.
anyways,
it is really
regardless, I do believe that this is also a killer for in the tent in the wintertime.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
The hours I spent cooking and boiling water and doing all the ice, not without being able to rest my back, especially after the long day.
How many time did you freaking had to lay down when you were making water just because your back was killing you?
Especially after the 10, 12-hour hiking day that we did up Haystack earlier this year in February.
Yeah.
That one, I was cooking for an hour and a half, and I was just like, I couldn't stand it anymore in my lower back, so I would lay back. This would be a killer for that. And what you do is that, let's say at night you're sitting in it, right, by the fire, or by the fire you do have to be careful. I mean, like,
it's a mattress, man.
It's an air mattress, but honestly, I've done a lot of tests with tenacious tape this year. I would be heartbroken if there's a hole in it because of fire, obviously. But at the same time, dude, I'm telling you, I've repaired some stuff with the tenacious tape. Like, I can't believe how well it holds. So I'm not worried about sleeping on the ground.
I totally get that.
I'm not worried about sleeping on the ground. Like, if there's a hole in it, I'll just patch it. Plus, I got it for half the price, so it doesn't bother me at all. But
it's against my home philosophy. I couldn't do this. I couldn't sit by the fire with my pad. I wouldn't be comfortable around the fire. I'd be super nervous all the time.
And that's the thing. In the wintertime, when you go hiking and backpacking in really intense winter, when it's really cold, you don't sit outside around a fire much. You can, but like, especially if you went like doing a bunch of summits and all that, usually you hang out in your tent, you go to bed, and this is going to be a huge hit for that. So you sit in it at night, and then you just have to kind of untuck it. The way it kind of, the folks can look at home can look online how it gets set up. Basically, the mattress kind of folds on each other, on itself, and it kind of fits in. But you can just open it up, finish blowing it up, and leave the chair as part of it while you sleep. Like, leave the chair in it. And then in the morning, you get up, you just take a little bit of air out, you make your chair again, and then you're sitting in your tent like that, right? So that's also really neat. Same thing in the summertime. Like, you go canoe camping, you sit in it, you walk from there to your tent, you lay it flat the next morning. I mean, like, in the summertime, you leave your chair outside anyways. It's not a big deal. But I think that this will add a ton of comfort to my winter hiking.
And knowing your style of hiking, not only you're gonna love it, like absolutely love it during winter, as you mentioned, during the like sitting in the tent, like while you're boiling water and when we had stuff like that, but also rescue stop. And now I remember you and the Algonquin Park with no chair, just from scratch, no chair, and just being like, I'll sit on the ground and just lay my back on a log. I'm not even going to sit on the log. Marty's like, no, I'm not sitting on the log. I'll sit on the ground and just put my back on the log. You like to be that level. You like to be on the floor.
The most important thing, it's not that see what I learned on that trip, because I forgot my chair. Ultimately, that's what happened. I didn't forget my sit pad, because I always bring my sit pad because I use it in between my knees when I sleep at night.
Oh, you're that type of dude.
Oh. So I always bring my sit pad for that. But so what I found out on that trip, because I did start on a log. I did start on the benches. And the most important thing about a chair is not to rest your legs. It's to rest your back after a long day. So the most important thing is back support. But on top of that, do you remember like back in the days, you could have like these, like, they were made out of foam. These chairs would fold in half, and it'd be like a massive
with two straps.
Yeah, 2 straps, and it would be a decent size. Like, you can pack that. It was just like boom. I always like sitting in those. I don't mind being on the ground. And now with this, like, I mean, I have 4 or 5. I think, because this is what, 2.5 inches once it's blown. A minimum 2 inches, maybe 2.5.
So you're gonna have 5 inches
between me and the ground, and that's an R. What is it? 4.7.
Yeah, with the new R value system in place. I think it's maybe 4.1.
Whatever it is. Let's say it's 4.
Because it used to be 3.7, and I believe now it's 4.1. So now you got
I've got
8.2
8 on my butt, so I'll never feel the ground. And I have
Never.
R4 on my back. So for the win, like you actually get a decent
so good.
protection from that. So I'm super excited. I haven't seen anyone in the backpacking community or in the camping community on YouTube almost. Personally, I haven't seen anybody use this product, and there might be a reason for it. And I might find that out. I'm willing to maybe this is garbage. I'm willing to put that because if nobody else is using it, that might be a reason. But I'm also, when I look at what I've done with it here and what it can give me, I'll be surprised.
You know what?
I'll be surprised if I don't like it.
I think I know why you didn't see it a lot. It's my theory. I might be freaking wrong, people, but I think that's my theory. I believe that ultralight packers just won't bring a chair whatsoever. Enough. So like there.
Yeah, because that's half a pound.
And then
like that, yeah.
Exactly. So they're like, I'll just sit on my pad. That's that's the ultralight mentality, right? So there's a lot of people you just take away right there. And then people that are doing like bushcraft stuff, well, they won't bring a chair. They'll make a chair.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the concept of going bushcraft. You'll make everything you'll be using, right? So right there, you take away another bunch of dudes, and then at the end, what else do you have?
Weekend warriors.
You got people. You got the weekend warriors that
hikers.
will probably that will take the Elinox before anything. Most of them.
Listen, this summer we're
just because it's
this
sturdy.
Summer, I'm making a statement right now. This summer we're going portaging. It's gonna happen.
That's for sure.
Thoughts here. We're going portaging.
It's gonna happen. Exactly.
Big Al's gonna be part of that.
Exactly.
Big Al has the Helinox. I'll
For
be
sure.
there. I'll have the Trekker chair from Thermarest, and we'll put it to the test side by side because I sat in Al's chairs. I have your chair. I'm not gonna lie. I like it, but I can't say that I was more comfortable on those chairs than this one when I sat here on the ground. So.
Well, you're gonna be the real legend by sitting with this by the fire, and this is where I was going last. It's like
some people might not want to do that. Yeah,
exactly,
Man,
exactly.
What is life
So
if you're not living it a little risky. You gotta take some chances, people. Get out there. Gear is meant to be used. I will be making a shirt one day because and
tough sur gear, brother.
Sur le gear. So that's kind of a French, English merged together where tough, obviously you guys know that word, sur, that'd be on, the gear, right? So tough sur le gear.
Yeah.
And that phrase originated
tough on
from
gear.
That was our first canoe camping trip.
That was our first trip. On the Black River.
We spoke about that trip a while back already. Yeah, a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, I think so.
And where was I going with that?
Everything.
That trip,
everything.
We broke.
I broke half of my gear.
It was so intense because the water levels and it's a river. The rapids were insane. The portages were flooded. We had to bushwhack our way, but we're bushwhacking like we're getting off the canoe, like chest deep in the water in full current, going into the rapid, holding on to the side of the and when you're in the wilderness, people don't know that like. The bush, the forest, like this, like where the so where there's a boundary. I just found that out actually. Wherever there's a boundary in nature, that's where soil is the most fertile. So, for example, the riverbank to the forest, that's where it's the most fertile.
Yes.
If you have it like by a road, that's why there's always so much weeds that grow there compared to the rest. That like it's very fertile for whatever reason. I was just reading that because we're setting up all the gardens at the back of the house here, and so for people at home, like a forest, you can't just walk through a forest. Like there's like 10 feet worth of like just like you gotta scrape your face through bushes and like thorns and you're so we were hauling all the gear and like I broke like 2 fishing rods. We broke so much stuff. So that's when that phrase came up, tough sur le gear, right? So we'll have to make a t-shirt out of that. I don't know why we started with that though, the tough sur gear. Where did that come from?
Because you're like, oh, you got like gear is made to be
Yes,
used.
gear is made to be used.
And I'm like, yeah, well, it's gonna be tough on your gear, brother, if you go by the fire with a mattress.
But
You know, like there's a reason why.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Of your entire summer, how often does the fire spit at you?
A lot, buddy. You want to look at my chair? There's holes everywhere on my Trichology chair.
Yeah, but that's because you leave
There
it
actually
unattended.
are holes.
I won't leave my chair there with my mattress without me sitting on it. I literally cover the entire thing. It'll burn me before the chair. Like you didn't burn your chair because you were sitting on it. You burnt your chair because you left it there alone, you idiot.
Okay, maybe, but once you got a couple of drink, after like a 13-hour day,
for an
I'll see if you forget your chair by the fire.
If you had an Helinox chair, you wouldn't forget it.
At $150, you're right. I wouldn't forget it.
Thing.
My chair is $30, people.
And
$30, the Trichology one.
Out there,
I wouldn't go anywhere.
This is one of the cheap gear item that is totally worth it. Totally worth it.
It's honestly, I believe it's the best chair I ever got so far. And I got a couple of one that they all fell on me eventually.
Well, they
and
all
so
do.
far, the Trichology.
They all do.
But the Trichology I've used on top of a mountain at minus 40. I've used camping. I've used by the fire. There's a shitload of holes. There's holes in them because of the fire, but it still holds. Like it just won't fall on me. And just the weight's made, all the little things that they thought about. It's a super cool chair. I mean,
what is it though? 2 pounds?
You even
2.5
got to.
pounds?
It's fairly heavy in the sense of the Helinox. Helinox is what, like 400 grams?
It's a pound, 15 ounces.
Like it's
15, 16 ounces.
It's 15.
So it's a pound.
Okay, so it's twice the Helinox. It's about twice the Helinox. But then the Helinox, people, is $150, and my chair is $30. You can buy 4, exactly. So you got to make choices in life, and I choose that $30 chair would work for me.
Honest. The amount of money you save by buying a Trichology, you can use that and put it towards a much better sleeping pad, for example, or a much better quilt.
A quilt or sleeping bag, whatever you like to sleep in. There's pieces of equipment that we've talked about this. There are pieces of equipment you can't go cheap. You should invest in those. It will make a big difference. But I mean, your cup, your chair, you don't need to spend $2,000 on that. Like you just don't. Anyway,
what do you have in front of you?
I want to talk about. Okay, so all the items I've got actually, but maybe one. There's actually one I've never used, but then this one I didn't bought. It's been lent to me for a while, and I've just never used it. But I want to start with a piece of equipment that I am fairly mad at it. So it's the Oki solar panel. Oh, yeah. It's a 20-watt solar panel. I think I've talked to you about this one before.
Big? Is it a big wattage?
20 watt is it's medium wattage. You can go 40, but you're gonna spend a ton of money. Like it's a good panel for its price range and for what it really does. Like I don't want to shit on it. It's just you need the absolute perfect condition for this to work, and that just never happens for me.
Would the Northwest Territory be in a good time?
Okay, so I bought exactly fucker. So I bought it because I was doing a trip in the Northwest Territories at a time of the year where there was going to be sun about honestly 21 hours a day. Okay, so I was like, "Yep, we're going on a river for 12 days." My battery pack is good. It's a 20,000 milliamp. So, but it's not going to do 12 days. So let's get this. Okay. This is, it's called sunflower panel. The technology that it's using, it's really good because right now, when you look at the solar panel world, most of them will give you 15% of conversion. So out of the 100% of sun that it gets, it will give you 15% of electricity. But this one In the perfect condition will give you 23%, which is fairly more when you think about it, okay? But perfect condition means you need sun, like big sun, like California sun, okay? And absolutely no cloud allowed, okay? Because if there's one cloud that just happens to pass through, it will really disturb the way it works for a while before it kicks back in. And then you need that sun for about, in my experience, because I've tried it before we went, for minimum 9 hours.
To charge how much?
To charge the equivalent of your cell phone, which is about 3,000 milliamp. So you need 9 hours of absolute perfect condition with no clouds.
Yeah.
When do you get that? If you don't live in the desert or in California, I'm sorry, you don't get that in Canada. You just don't.
You're always going to get clouds, especially like at late afternoon.
Of course.
The trees are just sweating. They're creating the clouds.
And they're selling you this with the idea that you're just going to set it, like because there's carabiners all over it, on your back, on the outside of your backpack. Okay? Which is, first, that's bullshit because unless you're doing a true hike through the desert,
and even
it's not
so,
good. And
everybody tells you not to bring those.
Exactly. And the other thing is, as I mentioned, 23% in the perfect condition. So most of the time, you're going to get probably like 8 or 7%.
And that also means that you have to be walking in the right direction if you have it on your pack, right? Like,
of course, you can't have the sun in your face. It has to be on your back. And the other thing that they don't mention until you read the book on how to use it is that you cannot just put it like out there.
Okay.
You know? No, depending on where the sun is, you need to have the proper angle. It doesn't want to be facing the sun directly. That's why they put, and that's very nice of them, they put a little pad at the back so it acts like a leg so you can put it at an angle, really. And there's a Velcro strap in it to really like set up the proper
angle.
The proper angle you want. That means you need to worry about the angle every hour because the sun is moving. So you got to change the direction and the angle and no clouds allowed. So I was like, okay, maybe I can plug 2 USB cable on it, and it's a 2.5 amp charger on it. So it's a fast charger, but you only get so much power out of it that it's not really a fast charger. As I mentioned, with 23% on the perfect condition, it took me 9 hours to charge my phone. Imagine if you don't have the perfect condition. We're talking it more than a day.
Forget
you don't have that. You're not going to take a 0 to charge your phone. Okay? That's not so. Yeah, so I'm fairly mad at this.
It's crazy
because when do you use it? I've tried to use it. I really wanted to use it and like it, but no. There's so many other ways you can go by. Honestly, get 20,000 milliamp battery bank, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. You know what? Big Al has one piece of technology, electricity. Why is that? Actually, I'd be curious to try. Turbine? He's got a turbine. Yeah, he's got a turbine. So I'm like, if you're on a river and you're sitting like a base camp, or even if you're not setting a base camp, if you're just traveling, let's say the Mississauga River for 7 days, it's not going to take you 7 days, but whatever, you know. Well, if you decide to take your time.
Black River, when we were out there for 3 days, the Black River runs at like 3-4 miles an hour. I mean, like you could just drop it in there. It'll do its work.
You drop it in there.
If you sleep by one of the rapids,
it's going to do its work. You're laughing. And that thing works with wind as well. So if you're in a windy territory on top of a mountain,
on top of
put that up there, buddy.
For an hour.
Just hold it there like a champ. You know?
It's funny how we
show me those biceps.
It's funny how we haven't mastered the art of harvesting solar power.
Energy. You're right.
I mean,
Not yet. But
listen, full sun or overcast, my fair skin will burn. Period. Right?
Yeah.
The UV levels, like when you look at them, like whether it's overcast or full, like, they're usually at the same range anyways. So you still burn. How can we not harvest that power? in an effective way. Obviously, it's because we haven't put any that much thought into it. But it's like, man,
I believe, to be honest, that there is the technology out there right now. There is solar panel that will have a much greater conversion rate. Because if you get a solar panel like this, which has a 70% conversion rate, let's say, now you're telling me I charge my phone with 3 hours of sun?
Not bad.
Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. But the thing is, those panels cost a fortune. They're just not affordable for everyone right now.
And that's my point.
And it's just like anything.
Technology is not that. I'm saying that how is it not more popular?
Well, it will become more popular. It will, just like flat screen TVs were just, like, think about it, like 15 years ago. How much was a flat TV?
It's gonna
like happen. An LCD flat TV, like a shitty flat TV. Not even an LED, an LCD. Like, it cost like $8,000 to get a 60-inch LCD TV 15 years ago, and today you get that for $400 at Costco.
And OLED as well, right?
I think we're
4K.
Anyway, second piece of equipment that I bought after my first trip. I talked to you guys last show about that trip. My first trip with Mike and Nick from AOB that really like kicked in me the love of camping. Well, not the love of camping. I loved camping before, but just like,
let's do it more.
This needs to happen in my life now. Let's do it for. So it's a kitchen sink.
Okay.
Who's
that from?
The thing is, so that's from Sea to Summit. Okay. So this is actually a 10-liter kitchen sink. So you see, like, this is my hand. This is about the size of it. Okay, but when you open it, it's really it's a smart design.
It's a good company.
It is. They make stuff that is foldable. They try to really make small stuff. So when you open it, you're like, okay, this is pretty freaking big. I mean, I can freaking hide myself in there. Like, it's big. It's freaking big, people. It's a 10-liter freaking sink. So you just put water in the weights, man. I'm not going to put wine in it right now, just because if I put 10 liters of wine, people are going to ask themselves questions about me, and they'd be right so to do. But it will sit by itself. Like, it will get a structure and just stay there. And it's nice. And the idea, why did I get that? You ask yourself, just freaking go at the river and do your dishes there and like be done with it. So the point that why did I get that is because on my first trip, the boys have bought something similar, but like at the dollar store in plastic. And the thing is, we were on top of a cliff. So instead of walking down and get water for 3 dudes and just get up the cliff and get down and now and get up, and they just like took buckets of water and like, this is dirty water. You can do your dishes in there. And this is the water we're going to be using to put in the gravity filter later on tonight. Like, it's just like, it's there now. And I was like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. So I bought it and I was like, I can do my dishes in there. I can actually, if I wanted, I could wash my clothes in there. Like, the one t-shirt that I bring when I'm on a trip at one point will be so gross. Even the mosquitoes won't like, actually, that's why I should keep it like that. Mosquitoes, but then if you're your lady friend and you're like, maybe it'd be a good thing, maybe it'd be a good thing. You can wash your clothes in there, and I thought it was really brilliant because again, it falls in this. It's super small, but honestly, I've used it once because I'm always close to the water.
You just don't set up.
Almost always. Yeah, it just don't set up far. It'd be useful if I had no choice but to set up far away. Fair enough. But then again, I do set up close by. And in the wintertime, you're not going to use this. I mean, it's just going to froze at one point. So you're not going to use this.
And honestly, washing your dishes when you're out camping is so overrated.
Well, it depends how many meals you make in a day and what you're cooking and all.
But I mean, come on, man. I think my cook pots,
you're right.
Like my real like cook pots that all fits within each other, like my 2 MSR cook pots that I have, they taste like spaghetti. Period. Like there's that's just what it is, man.
You seasoned them, buddy.
Seasoned
That's what
them.
you did. You seasoned,
And
like they're an iron cast pot. You seasoned them,
dude. But you know,
Okay, so I'm gonna put that.
you know what I like though about Seat to Summit, a piece that I'm starting to rethink my winter cook system, and maybe that will be next week's episode, because that'll trigger a big conversation. I've been thinking a lot about my.
I think it will.
I've been
curious.
thinking a lot about my winter cook kit and what I want to do, and how I typically. What is the setup that I find myself in the winter? You know, in terms of how many people do I go with? What is it that I do? And for hiking and summer.
I see. I totally see where you're going. You're gonna get a big pot. You're gonna get a huge pot.
We'll see. We'll leave it for next week. I have.
You're gonna get a huge titanium
I have most
pot.
of it here already, but the point is that, and Nick brought a couple of things as well that I thought were interesting. Anyway, so maybe we'll keep it for we'll leave that to a cliffhanger for next week for the folks at home, because I think we're closing into easily an hour here. So and instead of do you have something else before I close?
Really,
it?
I
Go for it.
I had two other items. Okay.
You have more. You told me you only have
okay.
two. That's why. And then your Seat to
I
Summit
said,
is an item that I want to buy for my winter setup. So that's why it made me think about that. But let's just keep running with the ball, man. You got the ball. Keep rolling.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna show you something. You're gonna look at it and you're just gonna be like,
I saw a little bit of the top. Yeah. Don't fucking throw that out, man. That's the stupidest thing ever. Is that an MSR one too?
It is an MSR one. So
it's the stupidest thing
ever.
It
is. It's okay. Yeah. It's a water filter. It's a pump water filter. Okay. So I actually never used that one. So Mike lent it to me with no return date, because he knew, okay, he's going to start doing a lot of stuff solo. And the first trip I've done, as I mentioned, was with him and Nick. So Mike he's like, I'm not going to use it ever again. So take that. I'm like, sure, cool. And I'm like, I'm never going to use that ever, because I got a gravity filter. I got so many different ways actually to filter water that are more efficient and useful than a freaking pump. So people at home never buy a water pump.
With pumps. Okay. I've used them quite a bit, because remember last week I told you I'd never owned a water filtration system until a handful of years ago, like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why is because I was using my brother-in-law's pump quite a bit actually, and Guillaume has that same pump.
It's a fucking nightmare.
And
it's a nightmare.
The reason why both of these dudes have pumps, it's because when water filtration came out, the concept of gravity filtration didn't exist.
True that. True that.
And for that purpose, listen, for the concept of filtrating water, it does that job. It's just so labor intensive to get water. Like, man, you've got a pump to if you're sitting to make 6 liters of water,
you're gonna be there for a while, buddy.
Now, the only time where someone with a pump is looking at you and laughing is when there's a hole this big that's full of mud that somehow, as you pump the water out, water keeps appearing in it. Like, it's it's the only time. Like, the rest of the time, there's always enough water for you to scoop a little bit. Yeah. There's always. Yeah. So, but and I mean, I know some of the backpackers in the backpacking community on YouTube use that. I've seen that. And they like it, and like anything else, honestly, it works. It does what it's supposed to do, and it does it well. It's just labor intensive, and it's one of those things until it's, for example, my sleeping pad. Until I tried a real sleeping pad, now I can't go back. So I used a pump filter for a decade. Oh, freak. For 15, 16 years before I bought a gravity filter. And it's one of those things where I was always happy to use it because it was providing me with clean water. The effort was worth it. But once I bought a gravity filter, I was like, dude, never again.
Never going back.
Never again.
Never again. Just never get. Which is gonna bring me to my last item. Okay, you're gonna laugh. Okay, it's not an actual outdoor camping piece of equipment.
So don't bring it up.
But no, but the thing is, the person that gave it to me gave it to me in the mindset that I will be using it while camping.
All right.
Okay, so I got that when I was 16 years old. It's at the time when I was in high school, my best friend in BC, Guy, at the time, his grandmother gave me that gift when I graduated. Okay. It's so freaking funny. And she gave it to me because she knew at the time I was all in the outdoors. Like I took the outdoor classes.
Dude, you did high school
and I was just talking
British
about
Columbia. I hope you were into the freaking outdoors.
Exactly. Fuck yeah. Obviously. So she's like, she gave me like a flask in this, and she's like, you're going to use it on your next camping trip. And I was like, oh, this is such a smart move. Okay. It's a deck of cards.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But as you can see, it's like transparent because it is plastified. So the thing is, water's never going to hurt. It's waterproof. It's beer proof, wine proof, pop proof, anything proof. So when you want to play cards in the outdoor, it's liquid proof. It's awesome. You're never going to damage those cards.
That's so funny.
And I was like, this is brilliant. When's the last time you played card camping?
Never
happened to me.
Because the campfire is awesome.
The campfire is awesome. There's always wind. I don't sleep in a tent. I sleep in a hammock. You're not going to play cards in a hammock. And a couple of times I slept in a tent, I was either alone or with whoever I was. We went to bed at like 1 a.m. when we were done with the fire and just went to bed and sleep.
I'll remind you a little story of when is the last time you played cards camping. So cards.
Did I play cards with you camping? Because I don't.
Cards or games of some sort are great during fire ban. When's the last time we went camping in a fire ban? Algonquin Park 2 summers ago.
With your kids.
With my kids. And we played that Monopoly card game, which, by the way, for all the folks at home, totally worth it. Super worth it. The game.
You can get it on Amazon as an add-on for like $4.
No.
Yeah, go get it.
It's a great card game. It plays nothing like the original Monopoly game. Nobody gets mad. The games don't last forever. It's a great card game. It's a great game for camping, actually. It's a really great game for camping because it's simple to bring. So we played that. It was a fire ban. It was raining. And you and I hadn't seen each other in maybe, like, physically seen each other I think.
You're right.
Did we go, like, for a year and a half to 2 year stretch? We might have.
Did we do that? No.
We might have. Like, of actual hanging out. No, wait, because we were doing 4 Courts production. We were playing a ton of music before.
Yeah.
But we might have gone close to a year. We might have I think you moved to Cornwall. Castleman? Fuck.
No, to Castleman. Cornwall and Castleman, not the same place, people.
Castleman is way worse.
Not the same place. Fuck yeah. Our water is shitty, but it's better than anything else.
You have a good brewery, though. You got to give them that.
We got so many breweries around, man. We got an epic brewery in town, but 15 minutes in Embrun. In Embrun we got Etienne Brûlé. If you go, I don't know, half an hour east to Van Cleek Hill, Bose. You got Bose, which is freaking huge now. There's just so many of them. Like, honestly, I think there's about 4 or 5 brewery inside 45 minutes of my place, and I love and they all deliver. they all deliver
now. That's awesome.
I love it.
That's great. But anyway, so we played board games that time, and so I put the kids down. Reasonable time, I don't know, like it was dark, so let's say 9:00, and then you and I played games and caught up until 4 a.m. Hard caught up, and then it's 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. 3 or 4 a.m. I think it's 3 a.m. We're like, okay, let's go to bed.
And we went in the canoe.
No, not that night. We're two bottles of. We're one at the very least one bottle of wine in and a cup. Anyways, we had certainly a handful of drinks. We weren't wasted or anything like that, but I mean, like, we were just having a good time. It's 3 a.m. We're tired as fuck, and then we realized we didn't hang our food.
What the? Oh,
and let's be honest, for all the folks at home, hanging your food is, in theory, the simplest thing in the world. But in practice, the most complicated thing, because you never find that stupid branch that's supposed to be exactly at the right place.
At the right height.
Especially
in
a conifer, especially in a conifer forest. Because what ends up happening is all the trees, all their limbs die, the lower limbs, because they're all fighting for the fucking sun to go as high as possible. So there's no limbs.
And it's pitch black.
Pitch black.
We don't see shit right now. Like,
So anyways, but that whole story. But we did play board games that night. That was great.
You're right.
But nowadays too, with our phones and all that, like, I'm really looking forward to. It's gonna sound silly because to most people it's like you're going outside and you're gonna bring an iPad, but there might be.
Okay, no.
What?
I'm gonna tell you the most silly I've done. Okay, with Nick. So we were on Crown Land. Camp is set up. Wood is chopped up. We fished. We caught fish. We ate like freaking kings. And then it's like, I don't know, 10 p.m. And he's like, you guys want to watch an episode of
Thrones? Please.
How it's called? No. It's a channel. It's a channel on YouTube. How is it called again? Basically, the boys on the channel just like modified their pickup truck.
Okay.
Like crazy. And they just freaking are crossing United States, Mexico, and they're going freaking down Brazil. Like they're
Chile,
just going the entire continent. Like it's crazy. Overlanders. It's called Overlanders. It's honestly, go look it up. Like it's freaking epic what they did to their pickup trucks and the way they shoot and everything. Like it's really, really, really a really cool show. And he's like, you guys want to watch the newest episode? We're like, wow, we're not gonna be watching on a freaking phone or an iPad. He's like, oh no. So he took a freaking huge white drape, put it. He already prepared the thing without telling us, obviously. So he just clips it with beaners, the four corners, boom, boom. He's got a little. I think it's called a Pico projector,
Nice.
which he hooks up to his phone, and boom, we got a projector in the middle of the forest watching an episode of
cool.
Overlander. I'm like,
dope.
what's going on here? That's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. But at the same time, you guys are in the forest not to watch TV, and you guys are absolutely right.
Yeah. No, but at the same time,
but for that one time, it was freaking cool.
It's fun, but at the same time, what I was gonna say is that I'm thinking, because to feed our addiction to board games, there's this one of our favorite game, you and I, Pandemics. It's on the iPad,
right.
And you can play co-op. You just kind of share the iPad, right? Or you leave it down on your channel. So especially if you have a fire ban,
buddy, it's on the phone.
I know, but it's fun to play on an iPad. It's bigger. I don't care for the weight. You know me. I don't care for the weight. I'll haul an iPad for you.
You're right.
We can put it on our barrel.
Yeah, you know.
On our canoe barrel, and we can just play right off of it. I don't know. I'm just saying. If we're going on a fire ban this summer, if there's a fire ban, we're definitely bringing the iPad. We're playing some Pandemics all night. Because that is you and I's.
Can you play? I'm going to ask people, can you play like Ticket to Ride or Carcassonne or any kind of board games, really like popular board games with Bluetooth? Is that a thing?
Kitten, you can. I don't know about Carcassonne and Ticket to Ride.
Okay. Well, Exploding Kitten is also a freaking cool game to play.
Like people,
small,
it's not,
stupid, dumb.
Like Exploding Kitten. We have yet to do that, but next winter when we go in the Adirondacks, we all download it onto our phones, all four boys, and we play
in your sleeping bag.
In our sleeping bag at night for sure. Can't believe we didn't think of that. Well, I know that Nick brought it up once, but anyways, we didn't do it. But anyways, I think that goes around everything we had to cover for the evening.
Well, there's one thing missing.
What is it?
There's one thing missing. People, if you had fun, you need to subscribe. You need to hit that bell notification. If you're listening to podcasts on iTunes, you leave a review. It makes a huge difference for us. And if you're on YouTube, not only you can subscribe and hit that bell notification, tell us in the comments. Tell us the subjects you want us to talk about, or tell us like the shit you went through on the subject we just spoke of. Like, what's the piece of gear you never used that you bought or almost never used? Or go back and listen to the other episode and tell us the mistake you've done, because the last episode was pretty cool too. Funny, and that makes a huge difference. So please do subscribe. Or again, you could write us to our email.
Yeah. talktomebrother@gmail.com. Send us your requests.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be addressing them, obviously, and thanks for tuning in, everyone who's watching. This is a lot of fun. Pierre-Antoine and I are having a blast doing those, so hopefully you're enjoying the ride.
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
See you next time.